Hi again, YouTubers. Well, I am going to attempt to follow the directions on installing this TempoTreadle. And I've watched the videos a couple times that are on the Lofty Fibers TempoTreadle training website. So now what I've got, this document is called Installing Your New Unit. First thing was to check the packing list and be sure we've got everything. Yes, I did that. That was the previous video. The next thing it says is place the sensor array under the spring loom. See photo, and it shows that. Here is the sensor array. I have not taken the rubber bands off it yet. But it, like I says, it's got my name and it says Spring I, penciled onto a piece of sticky note. There are two white marks on the top side of the sensor array. From the front of your loom, align the left white mark under the center of treadle position 1 and the right white mark under your rightmost treadle. So that'll be number 14. Before I do that, though, there's one more thing I want to get. These two stupid looking pieces of plastic. These are going to be used to hold the array unit in place and attach it to the metal bar that's underneath this wooden foot piece, which you can't see right now, but I'll show you in a minute, that we're going to hold the sensor array in the correct position. So I know we're going to need those. So I'm going to just set them on the floor next to the loom. Let's start to take the rubber bands off of here. Set them on top of the loom. Okay, so we've got this long ribbon cable that they talk about. It says there's white marks on top. Well, guess what? There's no white marks, but in their video they said it'll either be white or blue. And there's one blue mark. And there's the other blue mark. And I think you can kind of tell by the darkness, say there and there and there. Those are, I believe, where the magnets are that are going to help this thing sense what's doing. So now I'm going to turn the camera off just for a second, aim it down, and see if we can get you to see better underneath the loom. Now I know we don't have the greatest under loom lighting. Sorry about that. I don't think I've got much of an option. The right mark should... Okay. Now they show it coming in from that side, but I've got a wall over there, so I'm going to come in from this side and push the whole thing under if I can. And then I will just pull the cable. Wonder if I can zoom you out just a little bit more. So there's the blue mark under that one, the other blue mark. So there's a blue mark under treadle number 1 and a blue mark under treadle number 14. Next position, the first sensor array Next, position the first sensor array bracket between number 1 and 2 treadles and snap it onto the treadle axle under the foot rail. Don't attach the Velcro yet. So I can't show you this too well. I can't see it real well myself. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and see if that helps, but no promises. Here's the bracket. It's going between treadles 1 and 2, and I'm doing this purely by feel. And that didn't work. Not working at all. Well, I'm going to turn this off so I can get down farther and see, and I'll get back to you as soon as I figure out how this works. Okay. I got it installed between treadles 13 and 14 already. That was just a little bit easier positioning for me back here. And I've figured out, I was trying to install them upside down. At least I think I was. I think I've got it now done right. So it's got to be with these two little plastic pieces up so that the array thing can sit in there, I believe. It's not real clear to me which way they go. When I look at it like this, I think it's got to be facing downwards. No, I guess this is, I put it in upside down on that side. So we're going to try this one. Okay, that's there. But I don't then see, I'm guessing at this. Their picture is somewhat helpful, but not as helpful as I was hoping it would be. So I'm going to go over to the other side. And unconnect this guy. Turn it over so that these things are facing downwards. And go back in. Let's start recording again with the other camera to see if it gets a little better angle. And again, I can't get down there real well to see. But that, I think, has got those on there correctly. Let me turn the cameras off and go read the next set of directions to see what I do next. Put this in here, down like this, down like that. Okay. Okay, I am using a different camera, so the sound quality may not be as good. Let's move you over just a little bit this way. So there we get this. I'm hoping that with the camera here, and I've put a couple of blocks of wood underneath the frame of the loom to lift this up a little bit, that we can get down here and That snapped in, but I think it's upside down. Yeah, that was upside down. Because I think I've got to have this right here up. So let's see if I can do this again from a different angle. There. Gonna move to the other side and do the same thing. Okay. I got it installed between treadles 13 and 14 already. That was just a little bit easier positioning for me back here. And I've figured out, I was trying to install them upside down. At least I think I was. I think I've got it now done right. So it's got to be with these two little plastic pieces up so that the array thing can sit in there, I believe. Maybe not. It's not real clear to me which way they go. When I look at it like this, I think it's got to be facing downwards. No, I guess this is, I put it in upside down on that side. So we're going to try this one. Okay, that's there. But I don't then see, I'm guessing at this. Their picture is somewhat helpful, but not as helpful as I was hoping it would be. So I'm going to go over to the other side and unconnect this guy. Turn it over so that these things are facing downwards. And go back in. The next step is to position the sensor array bracket. Oh, I did that. Don't attach the Velcro. We need to go through tuning next. Now mount the second bracket to that. So I'm going to try and find, I don't know if this is showing up, but there's the blue mark, so I'm going to go this way, get that under there, and lift up on this guy, and pull the array bracket back, and it's that was slid over there. I'm at the other side of that slid over there, so now that is at the correct distance from here going out this way to where it should be. Be sure the sensor array is held in place by the brackets as shown on the left. So it is. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. I'm going to try moving the camera just a little bit. Can you see the light isn't, whoops, the light isn't the greatest here. All right, the next set of instructions says locate the system unit. That's this guy. It's got a battery and the system itself. I bought the battery. I think it added $10, and I figured just as well to have it. And connect the system unit ribbon cable to the thread array ribbon cable. Carefully line up the pins, noting that the red stripe cable must be on the same side. You'll notice that the notches in the center also line up and press firmly. So if you look at this cable, on this side, the outside cable is red, and on this side it's gray. So we're going to line this up with the red side. matching the red side from the cable that came from that array unit down there. I'm having a hard time seeing this because with my stupid camera here, the screen is upside down. Everything looks backwards to me. There's also on the back a little opening. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's a little opening. Maybe if I shove a piece of paper in there, you'll be able to see it better. Can you see that little opening right there by my thumb? Almost looks like a Roman collar that a priest would wear. Okay, so we're going to line that up, and on the back of this one, there's a little piece of plastic that bumps out that should fit in there. Like that. And we'll push them together. I think we'll push them together. There. That clicked together. So those two are now firmly attached. When I pull, they don't pull apart. Okay. Next step. Turn the page. Come on, page turn. Power on the system unit. See instructions for powering on. Okay, so on the side, right there, is a little on-off switch. It's set in the off position now. I am going to flip it to the on position. I'm running from the battery, so here's the battery. I've got this little 6-inch USB cable that goes up to here to the system unit. And now we will turn it on. And the screen lights up and says Lofty Fibers, TempoTreadle. And it, on top, it says Spring, and then it has Weave, Project Progress, System Settings, Project Setup, System Info. So let's see what we do next. Next, remove the Velcro backing and mount the magnetic clip under one of the treadles on either end. Remove the Velcro back. Oh, I gotta find the magnets. I'm gonna turn the camera off while I go rummage around in the box to find the magnets. Here's the bag with all the magnets. And actually it's 2 bags. Those magnets are strong. I don't think I need these. I think these are extra that I may need for tuning. But we're going to start with these. Next, remove the backing and one battery. So I've got one magnet sitting there. Set the others down over there. And remove the Velcro backing and mount a magnet underside of the threadles on either end. Okay, so I need to move so I can get over closer to the end, and I'll be right back. Now I'm going to refer you to one of the training videos that was on the Lofty Fibers TempoTreadle installation web video. And what Dawn did on there, Dawn is one of the ladies that runs Lofty Fibers. She took this magnet and placed it directly under the first treadle, and something went wrong. So I need to, because this thing beeped at, it's just then. One of the things you get is a little teeny stylus. I'm going to press the home key, system settings. Which one do I need now? Tune array. That's tune array, not tuna ray. So treadle tuning. So let's try this again. It's showing a 14. So what I'm going to do is remove this plastic so that the sticky part of this, the backing of the Velcro, is right there. And then I'm going to go, she said, once we're there, go straight up. Any treadle. So I think that is properly done. Let's see if I can move this. I don't know if it'll show for you, but it should show 14 when I push down on this. Okay, now I am going to do that same thing on the other side by treadle 1. However, I don't have room to get the camera over there, so I can't show it to you, but it should be very much the same process. So back to you in just a little bit after I get that side done. Okay, I've been working from the outside in, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one I'm going to do is 6. I've pulled this little piece of plastic film off the thing now. This is kind of a nuisance to do, but thankfully you only have to do it once, if I understand correctly. I'm going to put the magnet down onto the bar and it'll start beeping like the dickens. And then you're supposed to come almost straight up. And this is hard to do. And get that magnet to stick on the underside of the treadle in the right place. So now I'm going to press the treadle. And it's beeping and shows me number 6. Press that treadle, now it shows me 5, 6, 7 doesn't have a magnet attached yet, so we're okay there. So I've got one, 8, 9, I've got one on 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. I don't have 9 yet. So there's the 3 magnets that are left. Again, pull this piece of plastic off, just set it down. And test. Yep, it's showing 9, 10, nothing on 8, but we'll get it back to there. Okay. So 7 and 8 are the 2 to go. I have also learned Remember earlier in the video I mentioned that I put a piece of wood under each leg of my loom just to lift it up a little bit so I had a little bit more room to work. If I take those pieces of wood out from under the loom, every treadle lights up like crazy. So I need to keep my loom up away from this kind of shag rug that we've got in the living room. It's sticking to my fingers. Definitely working under here is not the easiest. Let's see what happens if I press on 8 then. And 8 is recognized. 8. Nothing on 7, something on 6. So 7, here goes the last one. Okay, so all of them appear now to be working correctly. What's next? Once the 2 outermost are aligned, do the rest of them, test them. That's what we just did. If the magnet cap is not detecting well enough, add 1 or more optional tuning magnets. That's not a problem. I got to figure out a way to get it farther so they don't all detect at the same time. If the treadle is too sensitive, for example, it detects when lightly placed your foot on the treadle. Move it about 2/3 of the way. Move the cap down slightly. I don't know what down means in this context. If you cannot hear a tone or it's too quiet, go to system settings. Well, I'm going to say it's set up correctly for now. We'll see. I will read what's next and let's find out. Well, next I got to bring the system unit up to the top. And in theory, I'd be ready to weave. So let's pick this. I'm going to move the camera and we'll see what's next. Okay, gang, this part will be a little unsteady because I'm holding the camera by hand. And I'm standing in front of the loom, looking down at the TempoTreadle. That's the gray piece that is underneath the treadles. And I'm at shaft 14, so that's on the right hand side of the loom. We're going left like this, over to shaft 1, and there you can see the gray ribbon cord that comes from the TempoTreadle, and it's going around the back of the loom and starting up. Hopefully you can see that past the strings I've got hanging. Now we'll go up again, and I'm moving the camera, and there you can see the ribbon cord again coming up. I need to attach it at the bottom down there. I realize that yet. But it comes up to here and is attached through a little stick-on hoopy thing. I don't know what else to call it there. Coming around through here, through another little hook that holds it there. And I know the light's not great here because we've got sunlight in the windows behind us. But there is the TempoTreadle device. And if I press on a treadle, you should be able to see that I'm pressing on number 2, number 4, number 1, etc. So hopefully I've got this thing set up correctly. As you can see, I do have some warp wound on for another project. That'll be another video. For now, I just want to get the TempoTreadle stuff completed. But I think I have got it to the point now where I can actually do the tie-up that is needed for that next project and then try weaving to see how well this is going to work for me. Okay, so I think this video will end the setup process of the tempo weave. It looks like it's going to be helpful, but I haven't actually woven with it yet, so I'm going to reserve final judgment. The setup process felt like it was going to be a lot of overwhelming stuff to do when I got started. But as I finally jumped into it with both feet and started actually doing it, it wasn't as bad as I was afraid it would be. I would have liked a little bit better videos from Lofty Fiber, the Tempo Weave people, but what they did, I mean, it worked. It just, I had to go through them 2 or 3 times to get my head to wrap around the instructions. So that having been said, it works. It looks like a neat concept. I will have to play with it yet. And I think I mentioned to you that with my deep shag rug under the loom, the treadles are constantly setting it off because the loom sits down into the rug, and I certainly don't need the extra magnets that they gave. I almost wish the ones I had were thinner. So that having been said, I have put 2 pieces of wood underneath the front of the loom frame to raise us up, the front of the loom up about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. I'm leaving the back as is, so the whole loom is tilted back just a teeny bit. I don't think that's going to be a problem with weaving. I want to see how it works for using the TempoTreadle, and we'll see. Anyways, the next project, or the next thing to do, is to untie some of the 14 treadles that I've got tied up just for the purpose of tuning, and set the treadles that I need for the pattern that I want to make for the warp that is currently on here waiting to be woven. And I'm going to have to learn how to use Tempo Weave to create the WIF WIF file that's going to go into the TempoTreadle unit for managing this next project. That will be the next thing on my schedule. I probably won't video that because I probably will make some mistakes, but in a future video, maybe 2 projects from now, once I feel confident that I understand that process, then I will do that as a video as well. But until then, I just want to learn how to use this thing. So that's pretty much it for this video. Like all YouTubers, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of those things that every YouTuber says. Most of them say it at the beginning. I try and say it at the end. Figure if you got this far, then you'll understand. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you the next time around on YouTube. Bye-bye.